Well, hello there, Central Texas. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the B.A.D podcast, where we discuss things that can't be really talked about on the news. After dark content is what you get when you tune in to the B.A.D podcast. So I have a very special guest with me today. You know, usually I have Miss Dana with me, but we got somebody else. We have another producer with us today, Miss Crystal. So give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Listen, I've been knowing Crystal for a very long time. I started at KCN in 2017, so that's been 8 years now. And, you know, coming to work at Channel 6 News, you know, Crystal was like the other, you know, that girl. And, you know, that girl's just got to, like, link up. You know, she was my producer, got in so many fights, arguments, laughed together, cried together. Ups and downs together with men and just our lives
to this day.
So I'm so happy for you to come on the B.A.D podcast and join us, where we can just talk about everything, girl, like we be doing in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh, right? Just taking like, a whole bunch of time.
Girl, come here. But no, seriously. So Crystal, you and I close in age, about what, 2 years apart?
I think it's a little bit more. I'm
41. I'm 38.
Okay, 38, 39, 40, 41. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we are going to talk about today, which they use the word stigma, but like the stigma of a single older ladies. And I don't even like to say stigma. I don't think there's a stigma, but whatever. But we are here to talk about that today because I feel like you and I, Crystal, are in that age group that they're talking about.
Yes, absolutely we are.
Absolutely. So give your take on what that means. When people say the stigma behind dating older women, give your take of what that means.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm sorry, not dating older women, but single older women.
Yes.
What that means and how you feel about that.
Well, you know, it is harder dating as you get older. But I think the stigma that I've noticed on social media will tear you apart.
Girl,
it can tear you to shreds. You could be a teenager or you could be a 45-year-old woman.
Yes.
If you're not careful on social media, it will tear you apart.
Yes.
But the things that I am seeing on there are people saying, you know, like if something's wrong with you. If you're 40 and you're single or you've never been married, what's wrong with you?
Yep.
And my thing is like, it almost made me question myself.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? You know, is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And I don't think people are putting thought into that. They're not putting thought into your career, your life, your things that happen. Could you have had a spouse that passed away? Could you have gotten out of an abusive relationship? This, that, and the other. Or could you just be caring about you for some years?
Absolutely. Or dealing with a no good man. Because Lord knows there's a lot of them out there.
Healing.
Absolutely.
A lot of women don't take time to heal. And so what if you've become older because you've taken that time to make yourself better for that next person that comes in your life? Absolutely. But now that next person on social media, like, social media said I can't be with you because you're 41 and you've been single for 8 years. Yes, you heard that right. I've been single
and there's nothing wrong with it.
You know, I think what happened, though, in my case was I got my heart broken. You know, that happens. I got my heart broken and at that time, I knew I needed to heal. But as I was healing, my daughter was also growing up. And she was doing more things. And so all of a sudden, I just became caught up in her life.
Yeah.
And we're going like crazy. We're going volleyball. We're going choir. We're going powerlifting. We're doing all this stuff. And, you know, years ended up passing. But I was kind of thankful for that. Like, I thank God for that because I was able to give my daughter that time. Because a lot of women, whether you like it or not, a lot of women get distracted when they're dating and they have kids.
Yes.
And that time is pulled away from their child. And so I felt like I had a chance to heal, spend that time with my daughter, and open myself up eventually for relationships. But at the same time, social media just kept tearing me down.
For sure. And I do want to say you do have a daughter, and you have to be more careful with who you bring around. Not everybody is worthy enough to be around you and your daughter. So that's another thing that you have to take into consideration. Like, yeah, you could be a single mom and date and get married again and have a boyfriend, whatever you want to do. But you just can't have everybody, you know, every man you meet at a bar or out at the mall, whatever, come around you.
So true.
And your daughter, definitely, because you don't know people, and people are crazy, and they do crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
no,
we work in news.
Yes, and
we
we
know
work in
more
news.
than anybody how crazy it is.
Listen, yes. Now, unlike you, I don't have any kids yet. Y-E-T. No, I don't have any kids yet, but I kind of feel like, and I'm not blaming, my family or anything. I'm not saying that, but I grew up in a household where it was, you don't need a man for anything. You better go and get that degree. Like, you better know you got time. Don't you do what you don't need to pay that man no mind. Like, you do you, and blah blah blah. And you hear that over and over again. So yeah, like I've dated, had relationships, but they tell you so much. Girl, you got time to have kids. You don't need a kid gonna ruin your life.
Yeah.
And you hear that so much that when you think about having kids, like, oh my gosh, no, I can't have kids.
Yeah.
Like, or I don't need to get married. I need to focus on me. I'm a career woman.
Yeah.
And then by the time you look up, you in your 30s and you're like, oh shoot. I really, haven't been dating, like, not like I should, but I've just been focusing so much on, career and, doing me, and just hearing all that constant talk in your ear. So now that I'm in my 30s, it goes from, when you get married? Yeah. When you having a baby? And I'm like, well, you told me my whole life
exactly.
that I didn't need a man, and a kid would ruin my life, so I didn't have one right away. And, I've been just working on me and, just so career driven that, I haven't taken the time to really nurture, a relationship.
Yeah, because it's like, dang if you do, dang if you don't.
Dang if you don't. Yeah, so if I would have had a kid, it would have been one thing. And another thing, too, I just ran into some sour apples, some bad apples, if that's what you want to call it. Like, yeah, I've dated and had some guys, but they were crap.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to settle just because, a lot of them have been a piece of trash.
Just absolute. What do you call me on a regular basis?
Trash.
Well, but how do you say it?
Piece of trash.
Basura is what she calls me. But those are the kind of men, yes, I'm with her, though, that we run into. And like I said, that's so unfortunate because as women, you get that flack. So now they told you, go get the career. You got the career. Now you got the career. You got the degree. You did everything you were supposed to do.
Right.
Now, where's your man? Well, I had to get the career. Now I got to find... Now I need to date around,
right,
to find the right guy, and in between there, you're gonna find some. What do you call me? Basura.
Yeah. They say you got to kiss a couple of frogs before you get a prince.
Yeah,
I'm kissing frogs right now.
But it's that kind of pressure. It's that type of pressure, and I feel like that's the thing people don't look at when they say that. Like, oh, they just negatively look at, or they look at you in a negative light.
Yeah.
When they see you're older or 30 plus. I'm gonna say 30 plus because that's where I've been seeing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's when you're 30 plus and you're single. Well, what about this awesome career I have?
Right.
Did you think about what it took for me to get there?
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely.
Nobody's considering the factors that comes with it. We all know some crazy women who have had man after man after man after man after man, and nobody stays with them because these women are crazy. But take time, would you, please, to look into the life of that woman. Yeah. You're saying ain't nothing. Something's wrong with her because she's single.
Absolutely. Crystal, I have dated guys, and I look at Jasmine today and Jasmine yesterday, and I don't feel the guys that I dated in my 20s, I can't see myself with them today.
I'm with you on that.
So sometimes it's like, you take the time, like you said, to heal, to learn, because sometimes a lot of men teach you what you do and you don't want in your next relationship.
Exactly.
And you just take that time to heal and to grow from that. And so now I know I don't want another him. And if another him comes my way, I'm shooing him. You know
what? You just said something. You just said something too that just kind of ignited me too. With you learning from past relationships what you do and what you don't want. That sends some men off. That ticks them off when they realize you are able to let go quickly.
Yeah.
When you are able to be like, you know what? This isn't what I'm looking for.
Right.
Instead of stringing it, they're like, what are you talking about? Oh, she just, see, that's why she's single. No.
Yep.
So why I'm not with your behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, I'm not with your behind. It's not just why I'm single. Because I want what's best for myself.
Yes. And there are really, really good men out there. You know, like
I do believe that.
There are really good men out there, men taking care of their families, men who are still like us, you know, older, maybe looking for, you know, a great woman to settle down with. Hurry up and come find us.
Well, I'm gonna let you. Okay.
They are out there, so I don't want people to see this and think that we're just men bashing. No, that's not it. But it just is. It's like you said, social media will tear you down sometimes. Will
tear a woman down and really make naive people believe that rhetoric. Yes. You know, of that that if you're 30 plus, something's wrong with you. But you also said something. There are older men out there like us that are single and are good men. Yes, I know there are good men out there. But I would like to say there are men younger than us that are single, that are good men. Because I don't know what's been going on lately. But it seems like a lot of younger men approach me now. Oh. And these men, and these are the men too that these younger men, they're not the ones like, oh, something's wrong with you because you're 40 plus and single. You know, it's a lot of the older men saying that to me. A lot of and but these younger, I mean, I met this nice young man, 26 years old. You know? And he just had it together. Yeah. He had his career together. Yeah. He didn't have no kids. He eventually wants to get married at some point. Yeah. You know, I think the only thing that got us was the kid situation. Yeah. He wants kids and I don't. But you know what I'm saying? It seems like these younger men, and I think women too, need to realize, like, when these older men are coming to you saying those things, like, you know, first of all, something's wrong with him. Something has to be wrong with you as a man to say that to a woman.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I think we kind of need to start giving these younger men a chance that are wanting an older woman with a career and that's got her stuff together. Oh, yeah. And that like that idea.
There's been a lot of successful relationships with, you know, women who are older, you know, than the man. I probably could do about a good 10 years. Like, I don't think I could go more than that. Like, he has to be between the ages of 28 and 38 for me. I can't do any more than 10.
Okay, I did 15.
You did 15?
It was 15. Ooh. Just dating, and he had to go. But I don't know. I guess I could do 15.
Yeah, I did date well, I wouldn't say we were fully dating, but I did, you know, exchange numbers with a guy. He was about 6 years younger than me, and but I couldn't stand him. And it may not have been his age. It was just him. Like, I just was like, boy, let's go on somewhere. This ain't gonna work.
Yeah. And what's the saying though? You keep doing. What is the saying? You keep doing the same thing. You can't find looking for love in all the wrong places. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you do have to go outside the realm,
the box.
Yeah, yes. Of what you're doing, and that could be dating younger. That could be dating outside of your race. That could be a whole bunch of things. I say just get off social media, ladies. Yes. Don't let that, because I don't know why it bugged me so much.
Social media have people thinking, you know, what a first date is supposed to be.
Exactly.
They think that the first date is supposed to be this lavish, you know, he's supposed to spend a lot of money on me. For me, I want more of a connection. So I don't care if you spend $10, $110. If we have a good time, we have a good time. But social media will have people believing that kind of stuff. And you miss out on good people by believing what you see on social media. And a lot of times, things on social media is an illusion. Exactly. It's not real. So those people sometimes who post all that mess, like they're in debt. Their relationship is not good.
They live with their parents.
It's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, but they only present the best thing to you.
Exactly. You know? And that's why on those social media, fellas, you can't let social media let you miss your blessing.
Oh, you sure can't. You sure can. And ladies, you can't either.
Same. But it seems like we the ones that get picked on.
Right.
The women are the ones that are getting picked on.
Like, it's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me.
No, Jasmine, there is nothing. I've worked with you for 8 years. You are a good woman. You got a good sorority. You're funny. Your wigs are cute. I don't have my wig on this one, and so we could throw up some pictures of me and my fun wigs. But Jasmine be killing these wigs, y'all.
Okay, well, that's a compliment because some of these wigs be looking crazy. So
let's not front, Jasmine. Just fellas, just so you know too, it's not. She ain't bald headed. Realize that. I want you to know because Jasmine has hair that I wish I had. I cannot wait till she starts wearing it again.
I know. But these wigs
she's
so
got
convenient.
Long, gorgeous, thick hair. And so, fellas, get you some.
That was the best compliment I heard all day. Dana over there laughing because she been trying to get on me about my wigs and stuff. Girl, whatever. I love it. Okay, so Crystal.
Yes.
We also do this thing on the show where we do bad advice. And when I say bad advice, we're not going to give you bad advice. We're playing off the words bad, broadcast after dark. Mm-hmm. So we're going to give you some broadcast after dark advice for our people who are watching.
Yes.
And we do have a question on the floor today. And it was brought up. Okay, so how do you feel about, you have a daughter.
I do.
How old is she now?
16.
She's 16. Okay, parents out there, just tell us how you feel. Crystal,
yeah.
How do you feel about your daughter's boyfriend, high school, puppy love, you know, first boyfriend, sleeping over your house?
Yeah.
And you sleeping, and your daughter sleeping over at his house.
Okay, so this has happened.
Okay.
In my world. As a matter of fact, it happened.
Let me know. Let me be quiet. I'm going to just go.
Okay. Okay, so my daughter has a great boyfriend.
Okay.
Sione. Hey, Sione. Hey, Willow. I think growing up, I would have never, even as an adult, I'm going to take growing up out of it. As an adult, I never thought I would be okay with my daughter having her boyfriend staying the night at my house.
Okay.
But then it came about. Like it happened. It first happened when Sione, Willow's boyfriend, invited her to a baby shower. Mm-hmm. And he stays in one town, and Willow stays in another town, and so they stay about 30 minutes apart from each other. So they don't go to school together. They don't see each other that much. So he invited her to a baby shower for his family. His family was having fun. It was getting later at night. His mother calls me, and she's like, Willow can stay here. And it was a relationship that I built with his family.
Trust.
Yeah. And I didn't, again, I am the kind of mother, I was raised, when kids were getting pregnant constantly in high school and middle school, all the girls were pregnant. Temple High, I don't know what was wrong with you back in 2000s, but everybody was pregnant when I was going to school. I mean, you mentioned the other day, I knew a mother that she was a grandmother at 29. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? And so I had every reason to be like, oh, heck no.
Yeah.
Like, that's not happening. But we ended up, his family and I built this relationship, and we both trust our kids. Mm-hmm. And so when she brought that to my attention, at first I was like, and then I was like, you know what? Yeah, she absolutely can, because I do trust my daughter.
And like you said, she's about 30 minutes away now because she's with him and his family, his town. Okay.
And so, I trust my daughter, and I trust him, and I trust his family.
Okay.
To be attentive and alert. I see how they are with their kids. So Sione, my daughter's an only child. Sione is one of 4.
Okay.
And I see how they are. I see the discipline. I see, just how they are with their kids. And I trust that everything was going to be okay. And sure enough, everything was okay. And that following, about a couple weeks later, the Friday of Thanksgiving, the same thing happened. But he was at my house. It's like, well, Sione could just stay here the night. And his family was like, okay. Why? Because they trust me to know. And we did. We stayed. Yeah. We ended up staying up to like 6 o'clock in the morning in the living room.
You stayed up with them kids.
I sure did.
Woo! I would have been like,
no, I trust
on the couch
them.
Snoring, girl.
I trust them, but at the same time, you want to have that. You want to be alert, and it's just me. Like Sione has his whole family, and so it was just me. So yeah, I stayed up till 6 o'clock in the morning. We were playing games, and we were watching Stranger Things.
Okay.
And all that stuff. And then he went to go sleep in Willow's room, and Willow and I slept in the living room.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. Like, where do they sleep?
Yeah,
Okay.
And so we thought we all were going to be sleeping in the living room, and Sione ended up falling asleep in Willow's bed, and so we just let him stay back there.
Okay.
And we slept in.
And you slept in the. Okay. Did you sleep with one eye open?
I slept lightly.
I was like, Willow, where you going?
I said, you gotta go back. You better be.
You go to back. Let me hear that toilet flush.
Like, Sione, where you at? Wake up.
Okay.
So I do trust him, but as a parent, of course, you have concern.
And when she spent the night at his house, she felt comfortable and all that.
Oh, she didn't want to leave. Puppy love. Oh my gosh, these two are head over heels. You should see them on freaking Instagram. All they do that thing. What's that thing? Oh my gosh, it's the little weird heart that the kids do now, like this.
What?
Have you seen? Yeah.
What is that?
It's a thing. It's a heart now. I got stuck on this, and then they changed it to
I'm still here.
Then they changed it to what? I don't know how to do it. They changed it to a gang sign. Oh. And then I can't do that one.
I can't. Yeah.
And now it's this little thing right here where they put, and that's the love thing.
And so, they do that like love.
Yeah. So they're constantly, when they walk away from each other, it's just like that. And so, but yeah, when it's weird. So when she stayed the night at his house in Copper's Cove, his parents were telling she didn't want to leave. She slept with his sister in the sister's room, and he slept in his room.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. I know it's.
Yeah. I don't think that's not anything that I know my parents. Oh my gosh, would have never let that happen.
Me either.
I have a cousin that recently, he is just about a year older than Willow, and this recently happened. He went to his girlfriend's house and ended up having to spend the night, but they're back home in Nebraska, and what happened was he went over there. He probably should have stayed home because a storm was coming, like a winter storm. It's snowing up north.
Yeah.
And so the girl's dad didn't feel safe letting this young man drive on icy conditions and in the middle of a snowstorm back home. Yeah. So he did call my aunt and say, like, he'll just stay here for the night. We'll keep him safe. We got food. Yes. But I just can't let this kid get back on the road. So he was able to spend the night. Now, that I get, because that's a serious situation. I would never go home, son. Like, no. You're going to sleep here and you're going to be safe.
Yeah.
So in that situation, that has to happen. But I feel like I would be so scared because, like, I'm thinking, like, oh, like, maybe, like, you go upstairs, she goes downstairs, vice versa. But I'm like you. I probably would have slept with one eye open, like,
and with one of them.
With one of them, because I've been a kid before. I've been sneaky. My mom had security system in our house. Do you remember ADT? Like when you open the door and it go beep 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 beep. And I still found a way. I'm like, I'm finding a way to get out of here. Like, oh, just come to my. I've had my front window. Is like. My window in my room was in the front yard, like it faced the front yard. So come to my window and give me a kiss, So I'll find lift the window up and we hugging and kissing out the window. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely,
so,
I was the same way. Growing up.
Same way. So that's why I'm like, ooh, that is risky, but no, sleep with one eye open. I probably would have tied something around Willow's arm, like you stay right here. But I mean, but trust is very important, and I think that's so important to build when you have two teenagers dating each other, because sometimes. Their parent may not be as good of a parent as you.
Exactly.
Let them do whatever the heck they want to do. She goes over there and she can do X, Y, Z, all this other stuff. But that is so important to build a relationship with your kid's boyfriend or girlfriend parent.
That's where it started.
Yes.
That's where it started from us. I think if we hadn't, I know for a fact, if we hadn't built that relationship, that I would have been right there in Copper's Cove to pick up my daughter that night. Sure. They asked if she could stay the night because the night was getting late. And they didn't want to get on the road. And so that was the most important thing, is knowing. And I think that is the deciding factor, too, for a lot of parents. So for me, his parents know that they can trust me. I know that I can trust them. So this works for us. Yeah. But that's not going to be the situation for a lot of households and a lot of families. I know it can be the situation when I was Willow's age, because I was, what do you call it, a 304? And so,
you were fast.
403. Oh, a 403. No, they call it 304s now. It's on social media. Oh. Yeah.
Are we talking about what I think we're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Like, okay. You ain't stupid.
And so, but no, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't put my past experience of who I was and how I grew up on my daughter either.
Yeah.
And I didn't want her to feel, I think another thing as a parent, I didn't want her to feel like I didn't trust her, or that she couldn't come to me about things, or these things couldn't happen. Then she would sneak away and do it, because I was so afraid of my mother growing up that I was sneaky. I wouldn't tell her anything. I was the sneakiest person on earth.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that Willow and our relationship good enough, and do we trust each other enough where she comes to me with anything? She tells me about the little girls sleeping around with their boyfriends and stuff that she knows in high school. And so, like, I want her. No, she don't. Sorry if I gave that away, Willow. My bad.
Whoops. Willow the snitch.
She's not a snitch, but she's talking to me. Like, my point is, she feels comfortable coming to me.
And I feel like until she shows otherwise, you know, you trust them. And, you know, Willow's a great kid. I met her plenty of times. But I feel like you should trust your kid and allow them to do certain things. But until they mess up. You mess up one time, hey.
Yeah.
Now we got to tighten this up. And, you know, I got to be more, you know, on you more. So, no, I get it. I get it 100%.
Yeah, it just depends. But I do love that whole family.
Aww.
And I hope I am stuck on it. I hope I don't eat my words later, because Sionia, though you're sweet, I will fight you if you hurt my kid.
Puppy love is so sweet.
It is.
Sweet.
It is.
Well, Crystal, I just want to thank you so much for joining me on the B.A.D podcast tonight.
This is way better than I thought it was going to be.
I know, right? Right. We should just do this all morning.
I wish we did, actually. Like, as a producer, like, I mean, you could just, the conversation you can have in here with stuff. And I see what you're talking about now when you sent El Paso, even though I don't like it, but I see what you're saying.
I know, right? Just have a conversation and let it all air out. Okay, well, Central Texas, thank you so much for staying up with us tonight on this episode of the B.A.D podcast. You can catch Crystal and I typically in the mornings, but like I said, we're having adult conversations tonight, so hopefully you put the kids to bed, and maybe, you know what I'm saying, we could maybe you learn something, or maybe, you know, we could have these adult conversations more often. So.
And I want to know, like, email Jasmin at was it J Caldwell, JCALDWELL at KCENTV.com. To I want to know what they think too. Yeah. I want to know what people think about, you know, the too old to date, something's wrong with you if you're 30 plus and you're single, or and I want to know what people think about teenagers, 16-year-olds, you know, spending the night with each other over their parents' house.
Oh yeah, that's a good talker. Get a lot of parents talking about that one. Well, that's all the time we have for now. Until then, we'll see you next time on the next episode of the B.A.D podcast.